The Northwest is a great place to live. Natural beauty combined with urban energy, vitality, and special people. Special Northwest people concerned and committed to issues of their area. KGW TV shares this commitment with Northwest businesses through Companies That Care. Companies That Care are sponsors that share our interests and commitment to quality cultural, documentary, and informative programming. Be watching for these special programs throughout the year. Brought to you by Channel 8 and Subaru Northwest, a company that cares.
I'm Tracy Berry.
And I'm Pete Schulberg. Coming up tonight on News 8 at 5, the Memorial Day weekend is underway, and so is the traffic. We'll have a live report on conditions and crackdowns.
Pacific Northwest Bell is now offering a service that will prevent teens from using the popular gab lines.
Drought conditions are already setting in around Oregon. Firefighters are preparing for the worst.
And we'll look at the growing risk of skin cancer, some warnings and advice tonight. Plus, a look at some real live creepy crawlers at the zoo at 5.
Have you ever watched people at the market? They all think they know how to pick the best orange. They squeeze, they tap, they shake. I have no idea what she's doing. But all they have to do is twist the wrist. If it says sun-kissed, you pick it. Hey, always read the label.
Fresh sun-kissed oranges now available at Fred Meyer, all stores except Sixton Alder and Stark.
KGW TV, Channel 8, Portland. This is News 8 at 5, where news and information come first. Reported by Pete Schulberg, Tracy Berry, meteorologist Jim Little with up-to-the-minute forecast, and Scott Lynn with the latest in sports. And now, News 8 at 5.
Good evening. It is finally here, the Memorial Day weekend, and holiday travelers won't be the only ones out on the road.
Police saturation patrols will also be there along the major interstate highways. Kathy Kiyomura is perched on an overpass right now with a preview of the holiday traffic situation. Kathy?
Tracy and Pete, as you can see, holiday traffic is creeping along at a rush hour pace right now. Very frustrating. If you are traveling in Washington State on Interstate 5, look up in the sky, and you will likely see someone watching you. That someone will be a Washington State patrolman, and he'll be up on an airplane. And if you're speeding, that white car in back of you will probably pull you over, and we can guarantee the experience won't be cheap. This is part of Washington State Patrol's cavalry out in near saturation numbers along Interstate 5.
Okay, there's 76 right there.
And this is part of the State Patrol's Air Force, affectionately called Bear in the Air. All 5 of the patrol's aircraft are buzzing I-5, signaling 85 additional troopers below. The concentration is unusual, but it makes sense because I-5 has the most varied set of speed limits. For example, there's a 55-mile-an-hour limit from Vancouver to the fairgrounds. At that point, motorists can speed up to 65. But some drivers use any excuse to drive over that limit.
The ones I've been stopping basically in this car for cars have been running 85 plus, and then, like I say, a couple motorcycles at 100.
Speeding motorists don't stand a chance against Trooper E.L. Green. His patrol car is an unmarked Trans Am, and from this ramp, he'll take off like a rocket to catch speeders.
It's real sneaky, though. As far as cars-wise, you know, people in the cars don't really see it, but the trucks have it spotted really well. I think the majority of the traffic is staying at 65 or under, but you got the few, because usually when we were working in the 55 zone here, we got blisters on our fingers, and today it's been fairly slow.
Well, traffic is picking up just a little bit here in Oregon and in Washington State. Lawmen had lots of practice earlier today writing citations, so they'll be all warmed up for the holiday weekend. And they ask all of us to please pay attention to the speed limit signs and to drive carefully. Have a good weekend, Pete and Tracy. Back to you.
Thank you, Kathy. Some wise advice for everyone tonight. Well, Governor Goldschmidt gave his endorsement today to the landmark parental leave bill just passed by the legislature. The measure, only the second in the nation, allows new parents to take up to 12 weeks of unpaid leave without fear of losing their jobs. It applies to both mothers and fathers of natural-born and adopted children. Goldschmidt said he hadn't read the final version of the bill, but he expects to sign it.
I think it's an exciting time for us in the state again, where somebody's saying, let's recognize the obvious, which is the most important time for new parents with their children is right after they're born. And the most important thing we can do is to make sure parents spend time with their kids, and frankly, I think most businesses agree. You know, a lot of people who own and run businesses are parents too, and they understand what this is all about.
The bill applies to companies with 26 or more employees. Those wanting time off must give ample notice in advance.
Following last year's Mount Hood climbing tragedy, almost $150,000 was raised for the purchase of electronic tracking devices. But climbers never got to use the trackers because the money still hasn't been spent. And as Casey Cowan reports, a bill passed by the Senate today would practically guarantee that the equipment will not become available.
It was 1 year ago that Mount Hood claimed the lives of 9 climbers from the Oregon Episcopal School. Buried under the snow for days, they might have been located earlier had they been equipped with a tracking device similar to those used on wild animals. But without the guarantees of freedom from lawsuits in case the tracking devices fail, manufacturers will not allow them on the market for climbers and hikers to use. A bill that would grant that immunity from lawsuits was introduced this legislative session. But when the bill got to the floor of the Senate, it had been amended to allow some grounds for liability.
Now, there seem to be some reservations on the part of the committee to pass a total blanket shield against any kind of responsibility for the way the product was either manufactured or distributed or the way it was maintained when it was rented or leased or loaned.
A motion to send the bill back to committee to re-amend it failed, and the bill now goes to the House. Scott Russell has been on several search and rescues. He says unless the bill is changed back to its original form, no manufacturer will put trackers on the market.
We've needed this kind of equipment since people have climbed mountains. It's very sad to see this come out in a defeated form.
Russell says no one can guarantee that tracking devices would save lives, and the equipment is not a substitute for knowledge of outdoor survival. But the trackers increase the chance of finding lost climbers thousands of times over. Legislators may be trying to protect climbers' rights by allowing them to sue if negligence can be shown in the manufacturing or maintenance of trackers. But Senator Simmons thinks they may have just increased the risks to climbers.
I wonder what liability the members of this body might have, either financial or moral, if we prevent the use of a rescue device which results in the loss of even one life.
At the Capitol, Casey Cowan, News 8.
Pacific Northwest Bell is suggesting a solution to what has been a financial horror story for many parents. The problem arises when children dial 976 toll services like teen lines or sports lines, sometimes ringing up $400 or $500 phone bills for their parents. According to a P&B plan, parents could order a 976 lock that would prevent them from dialing those numbers. The company says it's a better solution than is currently available.
The service that we currently have available is a toll restriction device where what you are doing is actually keeping the telephone from letting any calls go through that are dialed that begin with the 1. With the 976 service, you can be a little bit more selective. You can make long-distance calls. You can call numbers that begin with 1, with the exception of the 976 prefix.
The lock would cost $24 for installation and $2 a month after that. The service has been offered in Washington for a week now. If Oregon's Public Utilities Commission approves the plan, it will be available in Oregon by the end of June.
Still ahead tonight on News 8, Jim's first Memorial Weekend forecast and Scott Sports, and then later we'll have a close-up look at the bugs in Washington Park's Insect Zoo. The zoo is one of only 4 in the country. And in our special segment tonight, firefighters, farmers, and ranchers battle drought conditions here in the Northwest.
Before heading out this weekend, you'll want to see our special report on skin cancer and how to protect yourself from the sun. And next, Onzi tries to find a loophole in his 35-year contract with the city.
For years, Schoolhouse Fine Country Furniture has provided the Northwest with the finest in quality country home furnishings. This Memorial Day weekend, prices on all remaining items plus specially purchased merchandise have been reduced even more. Oak dining room tables priced from $247, $150 all wood dining chairs while quantities last $49. Daybeds priced from $75. Oak roll-top desk and china's only $594. It's $1 million marathon weekend as everything goes in both Schoolhouse stores.
At Kink, we play new music, and we play old music. We play famous artists and people you've never even heard of. In fact, we play more music than any other station in town. some stations would rather play games than music. But at Kink, we don't play games. With our music or with our listeners. Kink FM 102.
All right, everybody, the Northwest Best Auto Supply Store is now having a store-wide 70th anniversary sale. And of course, you're invited to save. Aussie woolly genuine sheepskin seat covers are now only $34.99 each, and save $20 on a Craco AM/FM cassette stereo anniversary sale price just $29.99. Come on, shop Shuck's 70th anniversary sale today. You know where to go. You know where to go. Shuck's Auto Supply.
A concise comparison of family car value from your Mazda dealer. The Mazda 626 sedan has a 2-liter electronic fuel-injected engine standard. Honda Accord DX sedan doesn't. 626 has split fold-down rear seat backs standard. Accord doesn't. 626 has more passenger and trunk room, too. The 626 does fall short of the Accord in one area, though. $896 short.
Get a great deal at your Northwest Mazda dealer today.
OMSI is trying to find a way to break a 35-year lease with the city. The museum wants to move from Washington Park to the other side of the river, sell its old building or rent it, and keep the profits. But as Tim Storrs reports, the contract says if OMSI moves, the city gets the property and the money.
OMSI was built from the ground up in a day, literally, in August 1957. It was the product of 14 years of work to find a permanent home for all things Oregon, an Oregon Memorial Museum of History, Science, and Industry. Everything used for the building and the labor to put it up was donated. The city of Portland leased the property in Washington Park for $1 a year. An instant hit when it opened. It has remained so for 30 years. But now the director says the place is too small. It's going to move across town. The Parks Commissioner is looking for new tenants.
There are a number of organizations who have approached us saying that they might be interested in leasing that building. It might be a children's museum, it might be a natural history museum, the Art Institute has some interest in it, and the Washington Park Zoo is looking at it for a children's zoo location.
When OMSI leaves, it wants to take more than the exhibits. The director says the place is worth $6 million. The trouble is, OMSI signed a lease in 1979 saying the buildings belong to the city should it ever move.
I think since OMSI has been in that site for so long, they did construct and improve the building. What we need to do is be reasonable and try to give them some financial assistance in developing their new project.
The city has called for a study to find a compromise before a confrontation develops. At City Hall, Tim Storrs, News 8.
A computer error had Clatsop County school officials worried for a while this week. The officials thought that a $200,000 levy request by the only school district in Clatsop County failed on Tuesday. Well, it turns out that the measure won, though by a slim 6-vote margin. Elections workers chalk up the mistake to a programming error. 5 Oregon high schools and 2 junior high schools have been named secondary schools of excellence by the U.S. Department of Education. The high schools honored are Burns Union, North Bend, Lake Ridge, South Salem, and Gladstone. The junior high schools in Oregon are Ogden in Oregon City and Rowe in Milwaukee. Fewer than 300 schools nationwide received the awards. Tracy?
Skin cancer. It's one of the most common, most deadly, and most ignored types of cancer. Doctors say many people who need treatment for this usually curable disease aren't getting it because they don't know they're sick. Public awareness of skin cancer faded after President Reagan's well-publicized bout with the disease. The skin cancer story from another patient tonight who was scared by it. Steve Knight.
Summer in the sunshine. The delight of baking your body beer bottle brown. Your tan never lasts long, but the sun's damage does.
People who stay out of the sun don't get skin cancer, and they wrinkle at a much lower rate.
It is a form of cancer. This is the, as I say, the commonest, the least dangerous.
President Reagan 2 years ago became the nation's most famous skin cancer patient. Every year, 500,000 Americans develop skin cancer. It used to be a disease of the old, not anymore.
How long have you noticed it?
About a year.
Has it ever bled or itched?
No.
A suspicious-looking spot on my cheek brought me to the doctor.
Well, this area right here is not skin cancer.
But some believe such spots can turn cancerous. I chose removal. Freezing with liquid nitrogen is a common treatment for skin cancer. It stings is all.
Okay, you can open your eyes. and then this will thaw out. You'll get a little hive reaction around there. It'll gradually darken and it will peel away.
President Reagan's skin cancer was the most common kind, basal cell.
And what occurs is you can have a sore that does not heal in 3 or 4 weeks, a pearly growth, a red patch, or a depression on areas that are sun exposed.
Malignant melanomas are the most dangerous type of skin cancer. Their occurrence is increasing alarmingly fast. Last year, 23,000 Americans were stricken. Shockingly, of those 5,600 people, 25% of the cases died. Back in 1930, a child's chance of developing melanoma was 1 in 1,500. By the mid-1980s, it has risen to 1 in 150. But early detection means survival.
Oh, it's tremendously treatable.
Dr. John Hannafin recalls one patient who noticed a spot on his arm a month after a Mexican vacation.
I had him come in that day. We shaved it off for a biopsy, and it was a melanoma, but the earliest kind. And these are essentially 100% curable. So he was lucky. He might have watched that for a few more months, and it could have turned into something that was fatal.
Tan slowly for safety. Use sunscreen. Don't get burned. This is especially true for children. New research shows that painful, blistering sunburns in childhood often trigger malignant melanomas in adults. Now, if you're worried that a spot on your skin might be skin cancer, you can get a free examination Saturday, May 30th. The Oregon Dermatology Society is sponsoring the exams at the Urgency Care Clinic in Beaverton and the Ready Care Clinic in Gresham. For more information, telephone the Oregon Dermatology Society at 274-1578. At Oregon Health Sciences University, Steve Knight, News 8.
Good advice. Sunscreen. Glad that Steve's okay, too. Right now, speaking of sun, we're going to check in with Jim Little in the Weather Center. Jim?
And there will be some sun this weekend. There will be some clouds as well. Morning low clouds and then thunder showers building up over the Cascades in the afternoon. That's the pattern today. Take a look at the satellite picture and you can see some thunder showers building up over and east of the Cascades. Generally clear skies on the west side. Weather radar shows those thunder showers generally over the crest and slightly to the east of the crest of the Cascades, to the south of the Dalles there. Those will continue until about sundown, and then they will dissipate, and that'll be the pattern through the weekend. We'll see afternoon and evening thunder showers east of the Cascades, morning low clouds, and fair west side. More on our weekend weather coming up a little later in News 8.
Thank you, Jim. We'll see you then. Still ahead tonight on News 8, our special segment looks at the severe drought conditions in the Northwest.
But first, this bombed-out building is not in Beirut. It's been sitting as is in downtown Portland for more than 2 years.
Test your trivia smarts by playing the Northwest's favorite game of questions and answers. On the spot, weekdays at 6:30 on Channel 8.
The Portland Dodge Truck Push is here. Ram Chargers, Dodge, Wagon, Dodge, Ram 100, Dodge, Dakota. Dodge. Every full-size van, wagon, pickup, and Ram Charger with a new 770 protection plan. Plus 3.7 financing or up to $1,000 cash back on pickups and Ram Chargers in stock. 3.7 or 500 cash back on Dakota. 3.7 or cash back, but only for a limited time. Ryan Bickmore Dodge, Dix Country Dodge, Brun-Tucken Dodge, Timberline Dodge, Vancouver Dodge, and Vince Williams Dodge.
There's really no better way to let your neighbors and customers know you're there than with banners and flags from Elmer's Flag and Banner. Right now, Elmer's is featuring our country's flag. Choose from assorted sizes and styles of display, from desktops to rooftops, the biggest variety in stock, and all come with a lifetime repair guarantee. The Stars and Stripes at excellent prices, now at Elmer's. For home or business, visit Elmer's Flag and Banner, 1332 Northeast Broadway.
Time is very important if you want to save big money at Rubenstein's Memorial Day sale. You only have 8 hours money to save 20, 30, 40, 50%, and even more. So shop Rubenstein's Furniture for the largest selection of contemporary and traditional furniture in the Pacific Northwest at super savings. Just one day to make no monthly and no interest payments for 6 full months. Monday, Memorial Day, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. only at Rubenstein's. Don't let time run out.
In just 3 weeks, the Environmental Quality Commission will decide where the Portland area's new garbage dump will be located. Today, the Department of Environmental Quality gave its okay to the 2 alternatives, something that didn't please the surrounding communities. Lou Frederick reports.
Ramsey Lake in the Rivergate Industrial Area in North Portland and Bacona Road in the northwest section of Washington County are the two finalists in the search for a landfill site near Portland. These 2 volumes of paperwork deal just with the Bacona Road site. Another 2 reports are full of studies on the Ramsey Lake area. Studies that include research on groundwater, costs, and the impact on neighborhoods. Studies the DEQ says are extensive. Neighborhood groups disagree.
DEQ recommends that a very detailed and complete geotechnical investigation of the Bacona Road site be completed before final design. Our question there is, why has this detailed work not been done prior to selecting our watershed as a dump site for Portland's garbage?
DEQ officials say the studies are extensive and support plans at either of the 2 sites.
What we've tried to do in this process is look at the groundwater and decide what we can do to make sure it's protected. And we've done that through extensive groundwater study. We've spent about $500,000 on it. We've gone well beyond what has ever been done before anywhere in the Pacific Northwest in terms of siting a landfill.
Bacona Road neighbors unveiled a new tack in their fight against the landfill. They propose that their area be dropped from the list and that Ramsey Lake be looked at as a site for alternative garbage technologies, not a landfill, and that the DEQ has not adequately considered landfill proposals in north central Oregon.
It's not just a question of put the garbage someplace. It's a question of use the garbage. Plan a system that will extract from that waste stream that which can be reused, and plan a system that will do that cites those facilities before you cite the place where the residue is going to go.
Rena Kuzma, Metro executive, says those plans are well underway, that during the next 3 years we should see major changes in how we deal with garbage.
We will have made some real headway in recycling. I would expect that we would be under construction for at least 1 and possibly 2 alternative technologies. And we will be under construction and probably just about completed with a landfill somewhere.
Where that landfill might be will be the source of heated discussions during the next 3 weeks and an expected court battle after a decision is made by the Environmental Quality Commission. Lou Frederick, News 8.
The latest traffic figures from Multnomah County show that at least 40,000 cars a day drive over the Burnside Bridge. Well, many of those people must be wondering the same thing we were. What's the story with that big unfinished thing at the bridge's east end? Here's Walden Kirsch.
That big hulk of a structure alongside the Burnside Bridge claims a prize these days for being the longest-running unfinished building near downtown. Its steel girders poke 3 stories into nowhere. The building lacks windows and it lacks doors. For 2 years it has been this way, but for nearly 70 years it was the old Bridgeport Hotel. Sitting along the Willamette, it was chiefly a hangout for boat pilots and others who made their livings on the river. The Bridgeport offered 72 rooms and 1 fine view. The old trolley went past the Bridgeport as well. In later years, the hotel's front 15 feet would be chopped off to allow the widening of Burnside. The man who bought the hotel in 1984 for about $500,000 wants to convert the old Bridgeport into a modern office building, but is reportedly having difficulties with money. We called him at his office, but he hung up. For now, then, all we can say for sure is that if the Bridgeport ever does reopen, its modern view will be just as nice as the old one, and the rent will be higher. I'm Walden Kirsch, News 8.
More than 100 bargain hunters showed up at the Port of Portland offices today. What was the attraction? An
45, anybody go 50? You bought it $45.
The Portland Airport's 10th annual auction of unclaimed lost and found items. Generally, people turn in about a dozen items a day. However, most of those owners later claim them. The port sells what's left over. Popular lost and found items this year were jewelry and cameras. Today's take for the 79 items on sale, $2,000.
Well, just ahead tonight on News 8, we'll recap the day's top stories and have the bad news about inflation rates across the West.
Then Governor Goldschmidt offers a hand-signed welcome to visitors from out of state.
For 1987, John Link Mazda in Oregon City has sold more new Mazdas than anyone in Oregon. The reason is clear: value. Think Link for the brand new Mazda 4x4s in stock now. B2000 trucks start at just $62.10, and the 4-door Deluxe 323 with factory cassette is John Link priced from $82.80.
Come see why we sell the most Mazdas. If you think value in your shop, think Link before you buy.
John Link Mazda, where I-205 meets McLaughlin in Oregon City.
You don't have to spend a king's ransom to stay in touch with the folks back home. Because a 10-minute call to the UK can average just 64 cents a minute. Why not give them a ring today? AT&T International Long Distance.
Why miss your sister in Munich when you can talk to her for a song? A 10-minute call to Germany can average just 71 cents a minute. Your voice will be music to her ears. AT&T International Long Distance.
During Smith's Memorial Weekend Sale,
no one else will even come close
to the incredible price reductions on furniture, appliances, bedding, and home entertainment items.
To Smith's amazing finance offer, no payments and no interest until January of 1988.
But Monday at 6 p.m., the incredible price reductions will disappear.
The no payments, no interest until 1988 will disappear.
So make sure you appear at Smith's Memorial Weekend Sale, now through Monday at all Smith's Home Furnishings.
No one else will even come close.
Working hard every day, doing things your own way.
Here in Oregon, we believe in a better way of life. That's why we work so hard. And now First Interstate Bank is working harder than ever to help you get the things you deserve. With loans that let you decide the terms. And Advance Line, a line of credit that lets you decide how much to borrow and when. So get the loan you deserve.
First Interstate Bank, doing things your way.
Taking a look now at tonight's top stories, rescue workers are upset over changes in a bill intended to make tracking devices available to climbers on Mount Hood. Now, the bill passed by the Senate today holds manufacturers responsible if the equipment fails because of the maker's negligence. Earlier versions of the bill protected manufacturers from any liability. Rescue workers say makers of the homing devices used on animals won't sell the equipment to climbers because of potential legal problems. Governor Goldschmidt said today he probably will sign the parental leave bill just passed by the legislature. Although Goldschmidt hasn't seen the final version of the bill, he said it is important for the state to recognize that new parents need time to bond with their infants. The bill allows mothers and fathers to take up to 12 weeks of unpaid leave without fear of losing their jobs. State police in Oregon and Washington will be out in force this weekend as motorists hit the road for the Memorial Day holiday. Officers will be looking for moving violations and drunken drivers, but Oregon drivers stopped for other reasons will be ticketed if they don't have their children buckled up with seatbelts. In Washington, everyone is required to wear a seatbelt.
Another welcome mat has been put out at the northern entry to Oregon on the Interstate 205 bridge over the Columbia. Wearing a hard hat and an old pair of sneakers, Governor Neil Goldschmidt spray-painted the word welcome in the Welcome to Oregon road marker. The governor says he wants it known that tourists are welcome in Oregon and that they ought to come here to stay, bring their families, their businesses, and invest here.
We spent since the 1930s cleaning up the Willamette River so you could catch sturgeon and salmon in it. And the last people to clean it up were the cities who dumped sewage in it, not the industries. And it took us a long time to get there. Our folks like it. It's probably one of the great sales stories about us, which is what you can do here for free in terms of recreation and enjoying life. And we want to keep it that way.
The highway crews have painted signs on the roads leading out of the state, reading simply, "Come back." Well, if a company can't handle a $54 million loan program, how can it expect to keep tabs on a $4.6 billion loan fund? That's the question posed to Lomas and Nettleton today. That's the firm that wants to take over the state's Veterans Home Loan Fund. But as Jeff Sangstack reports, the company is off to a rocky start.
Lomas and Nettleton finally brought their case to the public by meeting with the Portland news media. The Texas-based company has offered to manage the state's $4.6 billion Veterans Home Loan portfolio at a substantial savings for the state. However, the firm already services a much smaller loan portfolio for the State Housing Division, and according to that office, does a terrible job. Lomas and Nettleton says not to worry.
That is not the style of Lomas and Nettleton. We are not incompetent. We do not have incompetent people working for us, and we are going to make sure that the problems are resolved.
Lowe says his firm has already solved most of the problems, but would not specify just what those problems are. The state housing administrator says Lomas and Nettleton is the most troublesome of the 43 loan companies the state deals with, but doesn't rule out the possibility of a turnaround.
There's no major problem. The company is not a bad company. I think they're experiencing the normal administrative difficulties of rapid growth.
Lomas & Nettleton has become a very large mortgage company with portfolios in most states. A number of its customers have complained about the way the company locked in their loan rates. And in Pennsylvania, the state stepped in and sued Lomas & Nettleton.
They're alleging deceptive practices in the issuance of loan commitments, which we categorically and vehemently deny.
The state still has a long way to go before even deciding what to do with the huge Veterans Home Loan Fund. Still, those closely involved with the process say the problems with the housing division mean they'll think twice before handing Lomas & Nettleton a multi-million-dollar contract. Jeff Sangstack, News 8.
Well, that old nemesis, inflation, is flaring up again, especially in the West. The Labor Department says that nationally, consumer prices rose 0.4% last month. So far in 1987, inflation nationwide is up 2%. In the West, it is up 2.4%. The Labor Department blames the higher prices on food, energy, and imported goods costing more.
The price of gold on the New York Commodity Exchange dropped $5.50 today to close at $464 an ounce. Silver closed at $8.21 an ounce. That's down 57 cents. And Wall Street went in the other direction today, scoring a solid gain. Stocks were helped by a strong bond market and a firmer dollar overseas. The Dow Jones Industrial Average closed up almost 17.5 points at 2243.20. Trading volume was estimated at almost 136 million shares. A share of common stock was up 24 cents. And now here is a look at some Northwest stocks.
Nothing could separate the Bell sisters till they split up over potato chips. Bluebell insisted.
Thin chips are best. Are not. Are so. My Bluebell chips are thin, crispy, golden, and most delicious.
My Ma Bell's chips are thick and crunchy. They're best.
Are not.
Are so.
Are not.
You are so narrow-minded. Thick is best.
Oh, you're so thick-headed.
Thick.
Thin.
Bluebell thin chips, Ma Bell's thick chips. Both are best.
Thick. Thin. Thick. Thin.
And now the Beaverton Toyota Good News Report. Beaverton Toyota announces blue chip deals on all new Toyota cars and trucks from our huge inventory. We're loaded with 2- and 4-wheel drive trucks like this half-ton truck blue chip priced at only $64.95. With higher trade allowances and excellent financing as low as $99 down, the time is now to cash in on your best blue chip deal. Come to Beaverton Toyota for the #1 blue chip deal from the Northwest #1 Toyota dealer, Beaverton Toyota.
When you're staining your home or deck, Olympic is the best choice, and Fred Meyer's the best place to buy it because you'll find a bigger selection and lower prices. Olympic deck stain contains extra preservatives and mildewcide. It's now $15.66 a gallon. Olympic weather screen with linseed oil protection is $11.97 a gallon. And paint the inside of your home with the best Glidden paint we carry. Spread Supreme, now $5 off a gallon. During this 2-week sale at all Fred Meyer Home Improvement and Garden Centers.
No matter how you drive your engine clean with Mobil Super Unleaded Gasoline. Its high-octane detergent formula can unclog fuel injectors and give your car a new injection of power. For top performance, drive your engine clean with Mobil Super Unleaded, high-octane with a plus.
Tonight on NBC Nightly News with Tom Brokaw, President and Mrs. Reagan lead the nation in mourning the dead of the USS Stark in a memorial service at the ship's home port. And what are the Iranians saying about the Iraqi attack? We'll have a report from Tehran. Also, the financially crippled PTL holds an auction. On the block are items from the days of Jim and Tammy Baker, ranging from a baby grand to an air-conditioned doghouse. Tonight on NBC Nightly News with Tom Brokaw.
Large parts of the West are headed for drought conditions this summer.
That is the subject of our special segment tonight. Now, the area you see in red will be hardest hit by the drought. The parched conditions are the result of a lower-than-average snowpack in the mountains and above-average spring temperatures. In Oregon, the snowpack, which is the primary source of summer water, is less than half of normal, and many state rivers could have record low water levels this summer. There is mounting concern here in Oregon that this forest fire season will be worse than last year. Dozens of small lightning-caused fires were kindled over the last few weeks. sparking worry that thousands of acres will be charred by summer's end. Kathy Kiyomura looks at what's in store this fire season.
It is a slash burn reducing a snarled, clear-cut hillside to charred debris. This preparation for planting normally starts this month in the Mount Hood National Forest District. But this isn't a normal year. Drought conditions have brought on the slash burn and forest fire season all the way back in April, 4 to 6 weeks early. In the forest, most everything is running early this season. Slash burning is early, crews are out early, and if dry conditions continue, it'll be August and June.
Come towards me, Barb. Get back through there.
Well, over here you can see that it's burning real clean. There's not much smoke. There's not much vapor in the smoke. And back over here to the other side where it's been shadier, back off over this way, the smoke is, it's a lot heavier, and this is where the shade line's been, and it hasn't dried out as well here. But most of our units have been burning real hot this spring. The fuels are consuming a lot more than normal.
With each step in the slash burn area, forest rangers see and hear that there's potential for a severe fire season, one that could be much worse than last year. The slash fire is testimony the ground is dry, the weather has been hot, lakes and stream flows are at record lows, and the snowpack leaves a lot to be desired. As rangers stand guard around this burn, officials are drawing up plans to prevent the summer's wildfires from outstripping Forest Service reserves for firefighters and equipment.
What we'll do this year is we're looking more at the weather charts and what have you, and we plan on being a little more proactive, bringing crews in, staging them in areas where it looks like we'll have lightning.
Lightning storms started an outbreak of fires in eastern Oregon last August, bringing 12,000 firefighters to the Northwest. This year, firefighters will be equipped with greater levels of technology to battle wildfires.
We've got FLIR units, which are infrared, which tells us where the hot spots are in fire, and we have lightning detection, which we've had for several years now, tell us where the lightning storms are, and we can follow those with the high-tech stuff and know exactly where the fires are by morning.
The probability of a wildfire can now be calculated by computers, and firefighters will now be communicating with the help of satellites. All of us may be asked for our help and cooperation if there's an extreme danger of forest fires. As a last resort, forest officials may ask all of us to only build campfires in designated areas, and we may be advised to get our firewood in early. Forest wood cutting could be shut down. Timberlands in remote areas may be sacrificed. Firefighters will first save people, property, and wildlife. Reporting from the Mount Hood National Forest, Kathy Kiyomura, News 8.
Some farmers in the West are already seeking federal disaster relief because of the drought. In Oregon, things aren't that bad yet, but farmers here are worried, especially in the southern and eastern parts of the state. Reporter Scott Miller and photographer Terry Renteria paid a visit to Lake County, where some ranchers say it's as dry as they've ever seen it.
Spring came early to Oregon's high desert this year, too early for ranchers like Alan Withers, who must coax a living from this arid land.
There's no snow left in these mountains at all, and these hills in back of us should have some snow on them at this time of year, but there's none here at all at this time.
No snow means no spring runoff, the only source of water out on the range where Withers keeps his cattle. Normally, about a dozen water holes dot this stretch of range. Most years, this one holds about 2 feet of water through the summer. This year, it holds only dust. So every day, one of Withers' hired hands runs a water shuttle. She fills up at an irrigation canal on a neighboring ranch. Then she drives 15 dusty miles to where the cattle are grazing in the sagebrush and drinking from metal troughs. In this weather, each animal needs about 20 gallons of water a day, so keeping the troughs replenished is a full-time job. Withers has never had to haul water in the springtime before. It's an extra expense at a time when cattle prices are finally high enough for him to make some money.
This will be a good year. It's a shame we have to spend all our extra cash on water, but that's what we have to do.
Down in the valley near Paisley, the alfalfa is ahead of schedule thanks to the warm spring weather. Usually that's good news for farmers, but Ross Colahan isn't optimistic about his crop. He expects to lose his irrigation water before long. So like other Lake County farmers, he's getting his fields as wet as he can while the water lasts.
We're not going to keep irrigating. The river's going to go dry. And we have no wells, so it's just one of them things, that's all.
What happens then?
We just let her go. Go out and get a job, I guess.
In Lake County, as in the rest of Oregon, farmers who irrigate from reservoirs are in better shape. But if the snows don't return to swell the streams next spring, just about everyone in agriculture here will lose their water much sooner than they'd like. In Lake County, Scott Miller, News 8.
The outlook for Oregon's #1 crop is changing as the warm spring lingers on. Earlier this year, it looked like a bumper wheat crop in eastern Oregon. But some wheat fields are now showing signs of heat stress. Experts say the next few weeks are critical. Late spring rain could still make this a good year for wheat farmers. But right now, the Oregon Wheat League is expecting only average yield.
With us now is our meteorologist, Jim Little. And Jim, we've been talking about the drought. What about it? How bad is it?
Well, it's been pretty dry. I checked about a dozen cities around, representative cities around the Northwest, and the rainfall totals since last October 1st range from only 57% of normal over in Baker to about 70% of normal in Medford to 94% of normal here in Portland. Only one of those cities that I checked had above average precipitation. That was on the southern Oregon coast, and that just barely, just 106% of average. That was at North Bend. So it is dry, mainly east of the Cascades, and rainfall this weekend will be confined just to some scattered showers or possibly a little drizzle along the coast. I'll have the outlook for the weekend coming up in just a minute.
Oregon's #1 Volume 4 dealer, Courtesy Ford, will show you hundreds of reasons to buy your next car or truck from us during our May 10th sale. It's one price days. Introducing the brand new 1988 Ford Festiva, or Escort, America's #1 seller, or the hard-working Ranger pickup. Your choice, all priced from $55.87. Saving hundreds of dollars means hundreds of reasons to see Courtesy Ford. After all,
our business is saving you money.
Sale ends May 31st.
Bi-Mart members, check your paper for your Bi-Mart membership bulletin. You'll find extra savings in all your Memorial holiday needs. Stock up on Nally's potato chips in the 7 to 7.5 ounce bag. Bi-Mart sale priced at 69 cents. Pick up a Gott 48 quart cooler. Bi-Mart sale priced at $14.97. After rebate, only $12.97. And get your Foster Grant sunglasses now at 50% off manufacturer's suggested list price. Shop for all your Memorial Day needs now and save at Bi-Mart.
Par lumber.
When Par lumber started back in 1930, there wasn't anything like womanized outdoor wood. Today, that's all Par lumber recommends for just about any outdoor job. Outdoor wood is pressure treated to resist rot and termites while keeping its natural beauty. And it even comes with a lifetime warranty. For friendly service, expert advice, and home delivery, come to Par lumber for quality products like outdoor wood.
Par lumber, you come to the right place. Enter a world of excitement, where fantasy comes to life, where the stakes are high and secrets lie for your entertainment tonight. Enter a world of excitement, enter the world of entertainment tonight.
Don't miss Entertainment Tonight, weeknights at 7, only on Channel 8.
We're back with Jim and the weather, and it's a big holiday weekend for a lot of people.
First big one of the season, and it doesn't look too bad. Not big, strong, high pressure over us, but very weak, low pressure. How about that? That means a chance for some thunder showers to build up over the Cascades and east of the Cascades, and you can see them there today doing just exactly that. Generally clear skies on the west side. We had some low clouds this morning, but they have pretty much evaporated now. We'll see the same kind of a pattern tomorrow. Let's check weather radar, and you can see where the showers are right now, within radar range anyway. You can see quite a few of them here, and fairly heavy ones lining up just on the crest and east of the crest of the Cascades. They seem to be moving very slowly to the north, and so the Dalles may pick up some rain later on this evening, although these should dissipate as the sun goes down. So they tend to build up over the Cascades and dissipate. Then as soon as we lose the heating for the sun, that's the energy source for these thunderstorms. Once that's gone, then things will quiet down, but they'll pop up again tomorrow afternoon. Temperatures today around the northwest were generally in the 60s through the Willamette Valley, 69 degrees in Portland, 68 at Salem, 68 also in Eugene. Medford managed 77 this afternoon. It was 77 also at the Dalles. Elsewhere east of the Cascades, temperatures mostly in the upper 60s or low 70s. And along the coast with some fog and low clouds there this morning, but some sunshine this afternoon. Temperatures mostly in the upper 50s and low 60s. Around the Portland metro area, 72 degrees reported from Beaver Creek, 67 at Troutdale this afternoon, 68 up in Hazeldale, Washington, 67 the high temperature in Hillsboro. Overnight low temperatures last night, 30s or low 40s. 30s and 40s through the Willamette Valley and 30s and 40s east of the Cascades for low temperatures last night as well. Our statistics outside at the Portland Airport, it is 69 degrees, 42% the relative humidity, winds northwest at 10 and the barometer's at 30.08, and falling. Sunrise tomorrow is at 5:32 and sunset is at 8:43. High temperature today was 69 degrees, just one above average. The record 88 back in 1969. The overnight low temperature last night, 49 degrees, that also one above average. The record low, 33, that was set back in 1960. No rain during the last 24 hours, and the freezing level measured over measured over Medford this afternoon. No report from Salem, but the freezing level over Medford this afternoon was 9,400 feet, and that's fairly representative of the freezing level throughout Oregon today. The weather around the nation, big thunderstorms once again throughout the Texas and Oklahoma Panhandle and back into New Mexico and Colorado. Also thunderstorms along a trough line stretching from New York State on back down into the lower Mississippi Valley. Cooler air is moving across the northern plains, and where that meets the warmer and more humid air, we see the line of thunderstorms building up. Generally fair weather along the Atlantic seaboard today, and generally fair weather throughout much of the west with just the isolated thunder showers over the Sierra Nevada of California and over the Cascades and east of the Cascades in the Pacific Northwest. Temperatures today included 70 degrees for a high this afternoon in Reno. It was 54, cool weather up in Bismarck, North Dakota, only 48 late this afternoon at Minneapolis. To the south and east, temperatures warmed up, though. Little Rock was 91. It was 79 this afternoon in Atlanta and 78 up in Boston. Winds aloft chart shows a broad area of low pressure, but not a strong low pressure area. Just kind of well, really not very well defined flow up here, very weak flow. So any thunderstorms that develop will not move very fast. That does give us the potential for some locally heavy rain. So if you are camping or out in the backcountry east of the Cascades, stay away from the gullies and low areas because there's always that possibility. You get a big thunderstorm building up and it's slow moving, it can dump a lot of water in a small area, and there's always that possibility of flash flooding. So be careful if you're out and about in the backcountry this weekend. Satellite picture, once again, the infrared picture shows some scattered thunder showers east of the Cascades. Fair weather on the west side, and really nothing out here headed our direction off the ocean. So we're looking for not a bad weekend, weather very similar to what we've had the last couple of days. Our forecast, first along the coast. Look for morning low clouds, a chance for some drizzle there, but afternoon clearing and highs mostly in the low 60s. Along the coast, small craft advisories posted, winds northwesterly 10 to 20 knots with some higher gusts. For the Cascades, partly cloudy, widely scattered showers or thunder showers, the freezing level about 7,000 feet. East side, widely scattered afternoon showers or possibly thunder showers. Overnight lows kind of chilly, upper 30s and low 40s, and high temperatures tomorrow, mostly in the upper 60s and low 70s, and those kind of temperatures then through the weekend. For the Willamette Valley, areas of morning low clouds. Otherwise, just a slight chance of an afternoon shower. Weather very nice. And for the Portland metropolitan area throughout the holiday weekend, we could see some morning low clouds, fair skies. There's a chance that one of those showers may drift down out of the mountains and into the valley, so we'll put that in the forecast. But pretty nice. Low tonight 47, high tomorrow about 70 degrees. Upper 60s to perhaps low 70s right on through Monday.
Okay, sounds good. Did you get married today or something?
No, I was at Beaverton High School for the Spring Rain Festival.
Well, that's what that is, spring rain.
That's R-E-I-G-N.
Okay. I was going to say very apropos. Thanks, Jim. Scott, Lynn Sports is next on News 8. Scott will have highlights from today's Pac-10 Track and Field Championships.
And the state high school baseball playoffs are underway. We'll have a live report next.
You know what drives me nuts about Portland? It's not the rain, it's not the mayor, it's the radio stations. Check it out. I'm supposed to make a choice here? Why isn't there a radio station that plays good classic hits? Stones, Steely Dan, Beatles. Like this.
KMJK, Classic Hits 106.7 FM. Great classic hits and no repeats in 24 hours.
Planning to celebrate this weekend? Then think big. At Albertsons, you'll find big savings on everything you need for your barbecue or picnic. Take advantage of the big selection in our fresh bakery and our deli department. Then, take home big savings on everything you buy.
Hope your weekend's a big success.
When thinking about a new car, think green. At Beaverton Nissan, it's green tag specials on all our new cars. For example, only $99.53 per month for a new Nissan Sentra, only $99.53 per month, and only $232.29 per month for a new Nissan Maxima, only $232.29 per month. See our green tag specials now and only at number 1 Beaverton Nissan, 3855 Southwest Cedar Hills Boulevard.
Levitt's Memorial Weekend Sale. Man, have I been busy. Levitt's is selling Simmons quilted comfort mattresses like hotcakes. And no wonder. Twins, fulls, queens, or kings, any size mattress or box spring, only $98. Whoo-wee, that's hot. Or choose Simmons Maxipedic Perfect Support, any size, only $128. Well, gotta get another load. Levitt's Memorial Weekend Sale ends Monday night. Thank goodness.
You'll love it at Levitt's.
Scott, this is a big night for hockey fans.
That's right. Stanley Cup Final continues. Wayne Gretzky and the gang trying to take one more step towards a third Stanley Cup. The Stanley Cup Final has moved to Philadelphia for Games 3 and 4 of the series. Edmonton leads the best-of-7 affair, 2-0. Game 3 is underway right now. Edmonton leads 1-0 in the first period. I'll have highlights for you tonight at 11. On to basketball. The Boston Celtics have a 2-0 lead over Detroit in the best-of-7 Eastern Conference Final. Larry Bird pumped in a team-high 31 points to lead the Celtics to a 110-101 victory last night in the Boston Garden. Bird failed to score in the fourth quarter, but the reserves helped the Celtics stay in front. Greg Kite scored his only points of the game with 38 seconds left, putting Boston up by 6. The Celtics won by 9. Game 3 Saturday on the Pistons' home court. In golf, they're still trying to complete the second round of the LPGA Championship in Ohio. The leaders are still on the course right now, but right now Lori Rinker is leading at 8 under par. Debbie Richard is just a shot back. 69 players were unable to complete their first rounds yesterday. They finished today, and that was because of heavy rainstorms yesterday. Meanwhile, the men are playing in Atlanta. Davis Love III fired his second straight 65. He has a 3-shot lead after 2 rounds. The boys and girls state high school tennis tournament is in full swing. The boys are playing at the Tualatin Hills Tennis Center. You're watching the number 4 seed Ivan Volatek of Reynolds High School in the far court. Volatek won a pair of matches earlier today to advance into the quarterfinal round. He's playing his quarterfinal round match right now. All the top seeds reached the quarterfinals, including the boys' number 1 seed Matt Jackson of Aloha. He's also playing his quarterfinal round match right now. The girls' tournament is being played today at Mount Hood Community College. Matt Jackson's sister Lynn, the number 5 seed, has reached the quarterfinals. The semifinals and finals for both the girls and boys will be played tomorrow at the Tualatin Hills Tennis Center. Meanwhile, the state high school baseball tournament is underway. Carl Click has a live report from Wilson High School. Carl?
Hi, Scott. Here's what the state playoff tournament looks like from the center fielder's point of view. This is one of 8 games going on around the state today. It's a single elimination tournament that gets finished next weekend in the state championship game. Klamath Union is the favorite down south today. The Pelicans are playing against North Bend. Right now behind me, the PIL champion Wilson Trojans against the Metro League runner-up Aloha High School. We're in the 5th inning. It's 1-0 Wilson. We'll take it back to the bottom of the 3rd for the first run of the game. On the mound for Aloha is Darren Lyle, the big right-hander. He's gone the distance so far. His pitch to Ben Falco, bounced to third base. Falco will be out, but a run scores on the play. And that's Sean Kell. It's 1-0 Wilson, as I said, in the 5th inning. That's not exactly what we saw there, but trust me, Wilson is ahead 1-0. Also today, the girls softball tournament is underway. 16 teams in that as well. Interesting story there. Churchill is the favorite. They only played half the season because of the strike down in Eugene. Both baseball and softball tournaments underway today. We'll have the scores for you tonight at 11 o'clock.
All right, thank you very much, Carl. Today in the majors, Portland's Dale Murphy hit a pair of homers to lead the Braves to a 9-5 win over the Cubs. The homers were Murph's 12th and 13th of the season. This 4th inning shot gave the Braves a 1-0 lead. They led the rest of the way. Murphy hit a 2-run shot in the 5th. Atlanta raced to a 9-0 lead, then held on to beat the Cubs 9-5. The Cubs drop a half game behind the Cardinals in the National League East. The Pac-10 Track and Field Championships are underway in Corvallis. UCLA and Oregon are expected to battle for the team title. Oregon finished 1-2 in the long jump today. J.J. Burden won with a leap of 25, 8 3/4. Lattenberry, seen here, was second with a jump of 25, 7 1/4. And you're going to see now the start of the 400-meter relay. Burden also ran in this event. Oregon finished 3rd in this heat. Former McKay High School star Gus Vela ran the anchor leg for Stanford, but the Cardinal finished 4th. Now, former Malala star Darrell Roberson had a personal best of 231 feet 7 inches in the javelin. Look at this effort. Oh, intensity. Roberson is a freshman at the University of Washington. He finished 4th in the event. Finally, Camille Jampolsky of Oregon finished third in the women's high jump. 5 feet, 10 3/4 inches was her jump. We'll have a complete report on the Pac-10 Track and Field Championships tonight at 11. And finally, a Soviet athlete today made the second best long jump in history. The Soviet news agency TASS says Robert Emian leaped 29 feet 1 inch. That's just an inch and a half shorter than Bob Beeman's miracle jump in the 1968 Olympic Games. And that is thought to be one of those records that is untouchable, although just an inch and a half away. We might keep our eye on that fella.
No kidding. Okay, thanks very much, Scott. Still to come on News 8, another quick look at the Memorial Weekend forecast.
And we'll look at one of the area's most unusual exhibits, the insect zoo.
Does your engine knock and lose power on regular unleaded gasoline? Switch to Texaco Super Unleaded. Superstar power for more car power.
Time is very important. If you want to save big money at Rubenstein's Memorial Day sale, you only have 8 hours money to save 20, 30, 40, 50%, and even more. So shop Rubenstein's Furniture for the largest selection of contemporary and traditional furniture in the Pacific Northwest at super savings. Just one day to make no monthly and no interest payments for 6 full months. Monday, Memorial Day, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. only at Rubenstein's. Don't let time run out.
You're about to take a trip in a new Chrysler LeBaron, a true driver's car that gives you luxury and the luxury of saving. LeBaron prices start at just $11,295. And now get 3.7 financing or $500 cash back. Plus, save hundreds on our discount equipment packages and get the 770 protection plan. But to take this luxury saving trip, first, you have to take a trip to your local Chrysler Plymouth dealer.
Ah, coffee. It's what keeps us going. But coffee contains acid. And that acid can have consequences. Fortunately, there's a coffee that's been 90% acid neutralized. Kava. Rich, full-bodied, delicious. The more you drink, the more you like. So for coffee without the bitter consequences, try Kava.
Coming up tonight at 11, a protest tonight against a controversial psychologist speaking in Portland about how to prevent the spread of AIDS. Also, a special report on the Oregonian newspaper. Has it lived up to the promises made after the takeover of the Oregon Journal? And we'll show you a place downtown where you can display your own artwork, any artwork.
Weekend weather appears to be nearly a repeat of the last couple of days. We'll see some morning low clouds, especially along the coast and locally in the Willamette Valley, and showers and thunder showers building up in the afternoons and evenings over and east of the Cascades. Temperatures locally around 70 degrees.
Okay, thank you, Jim. Mention the word insect, and you probably think of some ugly bug or a picnic ruined by ants or mosquitoes, but a summer-long exhibit at the Washington Park Zoo shows that not all insects are bad. Jeff Anderson reports.
Mom, that's a walking stick, a bug. Mom, come see it.
This critter is known as an Australian walking stick. And no, it didn't need a passport to get into the country, but yes, it did need USDA approval. That's because it can be a pest to plants, particularly rose bushes, its favorite snack. Today, it was a focus of attention for hordes of school kids as they learned all about 25 live species and hundreds of other insects from all over the world at the zoo.
Here they get to see the insects close up, touch them, find out that not all insects are bad and mean and bite.
The insect zoo is one of just 4 in the entire country. Here you can see such wonders as iridescent butterflies that appear to have flown not out of a cocoon, but rather the pages of Alice in Wonderland. And perhaps less beautiful but equally intriguing are these varieties, which appear to have eyes that actually scare away predators. And then there's this Mexican tarantula, which eats birds. This African assassin bug has a sting which is said to feel like a bolt of lightning. And this cockroach from Madagascar, well, he isn't quite as violent. When he gets angry, he simply hisses.
What is it?
Spider.
I know.
Tarantula. The Mexican tarantula.
Over the years, insects have gotten a bad rap. After all, they do eat crops, and they can spoil outdoor barbecues. But they also help Mother Nature by decomposing waste matter, and even by doing away with other pests. Still, there always will be the creepy crawlers. These 2 millipedes, the African one around my thumb and the Asian variety crawling up my sleeve, are just two of the insects that will be on display. And you can come and try to count their legs all the way through Labor Day. At the Washington Park Zoo, Jeff Anderson for News 8.
Glad we didn't shake hands with him the last couple of
I hope
hours.
he got that out. I'm a little concerned about that. At least it wasn't a spider.
No, that's for sure. Now, the insects at the Bug Zoo have the next few weekends off, but Jeff says that you can see them Monday through Friday during the regular zoo hours.
Yeah, I'll rush right up for that
Right.
one. Thanks for watching, everybody.
NBC Nightly News is next. Good night.
Good night.
Best of the class. The following is a Channel 8 editorial.
I'm surrounded by the best of the class of 1987, seniors who rank among the highest achievers. Passage of the safety net measure Tuesday means their schools cannot be closed by voters who vote down levies. The safety net assures kids from Brookings to Estacada a full school year, while voters retain the power to say no to property tax increases. But other results from Tuesday's election emphasize the safety net can only be the first step in reforming the way we pay for schools. Voters turned down the majority of school levies on the ballot. The safety net will keep these schools open if voters continue to say no, but as the cost of education and inflation go up, the quality of education will go down in schools forced to operate on an inadequate tax levy. Poor districts will just get poorer. Critics who claim the safety net will slowly strangle schools will prove right if Governor Goldschmidt and lawmakers fail to find a long-term solution to the over-reliance on property taxes. It's time to take Oregon schools out of a state of emergency. The proposed Governor's Commission on School Finance is a good forum in which to pursue reform and quality education for all students around the state.
Channel 8 welcomes viewer response.